This has been an adventure that we've been on now for a number of years. Part of what we wanted to do was to try and find more effective ways to communicate the beauty and the message of the cultures of the island nations of Polynesia with all of the guests who come. And we wanted to find out if there was a way for us to take everything to a completely new level, building off all of the marvelous experiences of the past. We're intending to use a variety of techniques that have not been used previously in order to help communicate this. Because we're talking about a story, not just portraying different elements of dances and songs that we can shift on and off stage, but when you're trying to create a consistent storyline, you have to make the transitions in a totally different way. We're intending to incorporate a whole series of approaches that we fully anticipate will enhance the learning and the enjoyment.
In Ha, Breath of Life, the journey is presented through the life experiences of family, wherein accomplishments are learned and challenges overcome. The Polynesian Cultural Center has been Hawaii's most successful paid visitor attraction since 1963, employing more than 30,000 students from Brigham Young University, Hawaii, and drawing more than 33 million visitors from all over the world. Built by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the center assists students to pay for part of their education through mentored employment. The most visible of student jobs are those in the daily village demonstrations and the evening shows performed in the Pacific Theater. Since its opening, the center has produced several long-running shows to rave reviews from audiences.
river is strong as rock and reef, as strong as pounding surf, as strong as mighty people standing through winds of change. Different somehow, and yet still Hawaii.
You know, one of the unique aspects of the Cultural Center is that we have obligations to employ the students and help prepare them for the future. With BYU Hawaii and previously with the Church College of Hawaii and the Polynesian Cultural Center has been a marvelous match, because here are these young people from Polynesia and from many other countries around the world who come here. They attend school, and of course they're learning the kinds of things that will prepare them for future roles and responsibilities that they're going to have. And we know that one of the primary purposes is to help to prepare them to be leaders in their home communities and countries. We see that as a fundamental responsibility that we have here. That is, we want their experiences in the Polynesian Cultural Center to be the practical application of the things that they're learning in the classroom. So they might learn concepts and ideas and approaches and conceptual frameworks while they're in the classroom. And here, while they're at work, they can apply those things and learn how to take those ideas and make them real and make them live in their experience, so that by the time they leave here, they have a tremendous amount of valuable, practical experience.
You've got college students running, for example, the Canoe Guide program or the Multi-Purpose Guide program, or they're running a shift of workers at the Gateway Restaurant or at the Luau's, and they've got like 30 other students reporting into them. They hire, they train, they set work schedules and so forth. So it's the education for the students continues, I think, through practical application at the PCC.
Everything that we do is designed to not just carry out the operations of the center today, but it's really looking towards the future and what can we do each day to help prepare them for whatever they might be doing in the days ahead. We want them to be marvelous examples of everything that is good. We want them to be the kinds of people that the world would look towards for leadership and for examples of moving things ahead in a way that would advance societies no matter where in the world they might happen to be.
Aloha!
In many guest surveys that we've received, we find that as our guests become more and more experienced travelers, they want to be more than just entertained.
We see HUB being an opportunity for people to experience something new in addition to all the things that they already love about Hawaii.
When I had my first meeting with the committee, I shared with them how important it would be that what we create would be acceptable to those that were here before. And so when the whole concept of the show was being built to be in support of families, then it became a more real objective to make sure that what we created would carry the spirit of our ancestors and be used to teach our children and their children.
The night show was actually part of a broader effort to create a series of experiences that people would have throughout their day in the villages and the islands that would all link together, that would be part of this storyline.
Allow people to even immerse themselves and experience Hawaii and Polynesia to a greater degree than they've ever done before.
So that by the time they get to the night show, they've already experienced some aspects of it. Some things that they hear and see and experience in the night show will take them back to experiences that they had in the village during the day. And they'll be able to have a greater appreciation for how all of these different elements link together.
We've had the Horizons, which has been fabulously successful for the last nearly 15 years. So it's time for us to look at a new show.
This show, I would say, differs a lot from past shows in that we're actually incorporating a storyline where each section depends on that story thread going all the way through it into the next section. So it's not just each section performs in and of itself and then that's it. We're going to start out with a character that you can follow all the way through the entire production. So that is something we have never done in any of the past productions. We want them to experience the joy of when a new child is born into a family, and how, you know, that child on each of the birthdays it's celebrated, not just in Western society, but with Polynesians as well. What, you know, the importance of starting to teach our young children things that they need to prepare for adulthood, what it was like to fall in love and not have families approved maybe right away, and what you had to go through to be accepted. And of course the joy and celebration that comes from marriage and bringing families and villages. And also, you know, when there's threats upon the family and how, whether it's through a real threat or just trials that families experience, but how that as a whole village you can come together and help nurture each other during these times of adversity and then celebrate when you do get through it.
So we began by inviting many of the cultural experts, many who have been former employees of the PCC, people in the community, to participate in a series of events that have continued since that time. We really asked them to identify the aspects of their culture that are so special, so important, so valuable even in today's world, and maybe especially in today's world.
So as we developed this new show, what we tried to do was look at the core values of the different cultures and find out which values would be best portrayed in the villages, which ones maybe we could highlight on in the show, or what they experienced in the village, then it's presented in a bigger production style in the night show, so that guests, when they watch it, they're not just entertained, but they understand what it means. They walk away having a sense of what it must be like to be Polynesian and realize that, hey, I'm no different. They experience joy in marriages the same way I do, or they defend their families when threatened the same way I do, and that unitedly we're all one.
I've learned a lot portraying Mana in this new show, this new production, and it's quite a privilege to take on this lead role. The show brings out love, passion, hardship, families, the value of families. To me, I apply a lot of the things that I do here as playing mana in the show to my personal life. And it affects me in a lot of ways. What I do here reminds me of some of the things that I went through growing up.
You know, we love to sing and dance, and that's how we bring out the story, through our songs and dances.
Being Polynesian, we tend to naturally understand what the performances and the dances are about. But that's not so with visitors to Hawaii from the mainland, USA, Canada, Europe, and from the Asian countries, including Japan. And so what HA will provide is an opportunity for them to relate to a story that is based upon life occurrences that can happen to anybody, and therefore it will allow the audience to connect directly to the performances, because the performances are based on the storyline. It will have all the spectacular fire knife dancing, all the high energy dancing that the Polynesian Cultural Center is known for. But the big difference is going to be that visitors now will understand what that dancing is about, what it means, what is being celebrated, what is being defended, what is being honored. That is what will make HA different from any other show that we've had here at the Polynesian Cultural Center.
We're intending to use a variety of techniques that have not been used previously in order to help communicate this.
For the first time ever, we're going to be incorporating animation into the night show.
We are still researching screens for projection. We don't know what kind of projector we're going to have, whether it's going to be a back projection or front projection, and the location of the projectors. That will be dependent on where we put the screens.
The animation in this show will be a vital part of the transitions.
Because we're talking about a story, not just portraying different elements of dances and songs that we can shift on and off stage, but when you're trying to create a consistent storyline, you have to make the transitions in a totally different way. You have to make sure that the understanding is there and that people are following that storyline.
Regardless of what language you spoke, where in the world you would come from, we wanted this production to be presented in a universal language. Animation helps us to do that.
We'll actually have animation that will be projected onto these large sails that will be on either side of the stage that will help to communicate to people what's happening in this young man's life and how he's going from one stage of his experience to the next. And so we're intending to incorporate a whole series of approaches that we fully anticipate will enhance the learning and the enjoyment.
I think the show is going to be very educational. It's going to be educational, it's going to be informational, and it's going to be entertaining.
I'm Racheli Radule Smith. I'm attending BYU Hawaii, currently majoring in political science and psychology. I'm from Fiji. I was born in Suva and raised in Tonga. We are responsible for the sail and the animation for HA. What we do is spot the performers and make sure the lighting during the show is correct. I've been here 3 years. It took me 1 year to be able to work the console. We actually work, starting off working spotlights, and then we come in and learn the console when we've been here at least a year or more.
My name is Krzysztof. I'm from the Czech Republic. I am currently a student here at BYU Hawaii. I work with the theater department, mostly in lighting. I spotlight during the show. It's not physically demanding, but I find it enjoyable to see the show every night and see the improvements. Watching my fellow students dance is a thrill for me. I get to see them every night participating and working with the crowd.
I find the job rewarding because it plays a large part in the show, and it is one of the biggest wow factors for HA. We have to be very in tune to the show, what's going on and whatnot. That helps me, like with studies, it helps me be more focused. BYU Hawaii gives you more opportunities to meet other people from different cultures.
I have met people from all around the world. which is an opportunity I would have never had I not come here. I have been greatly impressed by the many students and their accomplishments.
In regards to the new show, Ha, we worked on it for over a year, and I enjoyed watching it develop to something very meaningful. And I mean family values, teaches us the importance of family, holding strong to our cultures, and also working together.
And the storyline itself about family that, you know, comes together and faces hardship, I find universal.
Working on Ha has been such a wonderful experience, and it's something that no matter where I go or how far I am from Hawaii or from BYU, I will always hold close in my heart.
The particular aspect of the Polynesian Cultural Center that I will always remember is the friendly atmosphere. I've been able to make friends quite easily, and people have accepted me and befriended me almost immediately. I'm very grateful for the participation BYU Hawaii has with Polynesian Cultural Center and how I'm able to work here and still continue my schooling. This will always be one of the happiest jobs I've had, where I can come excited to work every night.
Working on these costumes takes a lot of time. The challenging part of making the costume is with our committee leaders and the decisions that they have to make, because they have to make sure that the costume can portray whatever theme they're trying to portray in their section, and they have to connect it. We can't wear a pretty white shirt, like for instance Tonga. You can't just come out with a white shirt and then you have the feather and the ta'uvala, and then you're building a house, you know, and they don't dress that way as they're building the house. So we have to make sure the costume will pertain and have meaning to what they're dancing on stage. These ladies work very hard in making sure that all these costumes are done for all the section.
For this production, we're looking at a maximum cast of 100. So that on any given night we'd have anywhere from about 75 to 80 people on stage maybe, and the rest being it's their night off. And with crew and associated positions, probably about 120 people on each night.
So we need to make sure each one has a set of costume per person, and also our on-call dancers.
With regards to the number of performers we'll have on stage at any given time within each cultural section or throughout the show, we wanted to provide visual variety so that on one dance there might be just 3 or 4 or a handful. And the next number could be a power number where you have the whole section on stage, which would be anywhere up to about 32 people is usually the maximum number we like. And then of course on the finale we like to have everybody on stage. And so it's kind of the artistic choreographer's preference as to how many performers will be on stage at any given time.
This production has helped me to really see that we as human beings have the same sorts of trials, and we face so many of the same things in life.
Coming to PCC has really made me a whole new, different person altogether. I've learned to accept cultures, to be myself, and to be independent. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here at PCC.
Definitely a lot more knowledge and experience that I would never have gotten anywhere else if I went to any other university, if I worked at any other place. A much wider perspective of the world of life through the show, the stories and things it portrays. So if my family were to see me, they'd say I'm a very different person to before I came here.
I think for the rest of my life, I'll reflect on this opportunity to be a part of Ha as probably one of the most amazing experiences, because it's been the opportunity for a younger generation to be invited to be part of a cultural experience that will change me forever. I just know that I'm a better person for having come to the Polynesian Culture Center. I've been able to come here away from home, from Tonga, and take a look back at and really examine what it means to be Tongan, that I've been able to be an ambassador of aloha and to understand that aloha is ofa.
By the time the experience is completed, people will have a much deeper understanding and appreciation for all of the cultures. They'll want to come back time and time again to re-experience it.
The success of this show really will be because of that spirit that we've had from 1963 up to this point.
The future of the Polynesian Cultural Center will be based on the needs of people to appreciate their fellow men.
The influence, the impact that the Polynesian Cultural Center has had over the years has been absolutely profound in developing relationships and building bridges of friendship with peoples and countries all across the world.
I would like our guests to really feel the emotions of our performers and leave knowing that life is precious.